There's only one kind of alligator. Occasionally you might see a caiman in here because if they're here, they have been released in here. They're not native. But there's 15 different kinds of turtles. Lots of different turtles. Turtles provide the springtime picnic for almost all the other critters in the swamp, because all the females will go crawl out on the bank in May or June and dig a hole and drop in about 15 or 20 eggs. Then the next day she'll do the same thing again and again. Probably for 3 or 4 days she'll lay eggs. Those eggs very quickly become lunch for almost every predator in the swamp, because they know when and where it's going to happen, and they're just sitting there waiting. Turtles have a carapace, this is the upper shell, and they have a plastron. The plastron is this bottom cover, and it's connected by 2 bridges. This is a bridge, and this is a bridge. And they have all the viscera, all the same things that most other vertebrate critters do. They have an esophagus, they have a stomach, intestines, they have kidneys and a liver, almost all the same organs that other vertebrate critters. This particular one is what we call a slider. That's the common name. I'm not sure which species he is, but he's certainly a classic animal in the food chain. A turtle this size is just a typical bite for coyotes, for foxes, for bigger turtles, for raccoons and possums, otters. Many animals eat baby gators. They grow pretty slowly, so next year he won't be much bigger than this, maybe an inch, maybe an inch. But an inch in this mass is a great deal of growth. Do turtles shed their scales? These are scales. All of these upper tissues are scales, and they exactly fit the bone underneath. So when one falls off, you could take it and find exactly where it came from, because it only fit in one place. And they have about 50 scales on their top, on their carapace. They only have about 15 or 20 on the bottom. 15 or 20 down here. In this particular species, I don't know how to distinguish the sex. And the box turtles, the males have red eyes. Immediately, it's easy to see that. But with these turtles, it's not that evident. It's not that you can't tell it. What do they eat? They eat things like insects, tadpoles, any kind of small critter, beetles, bugs, and there's thousands of different critters in this domain called the bottom. And that's where they live. Most of their life they are on the bottom. I'm not sure when mating begins, but mating occurs in the springtime of the year. In the late winter, like in February, March, so that the eggs would be laid in sometime in May or June. And as you ride along the Swanee Canal of the Okefenokee Swamp, the Swamp Canal, you see just hundreds of turtle nests that have been dug up and eaten. All the eggs have been eaten, or the young, whichever it happened to be. And there's all the predators in the swamp are just anxiously awaiting that picnic. In some turtles, there is a distinct cavity, a depression in this plastron. Plastron is the name of the belly scale, the belly skeleton. And of course, that would be on the male. Females have a flat plastron, just like this one. I'm not saying that this is a male, but it would be flat like that. Then when they mate in a typical fashion from the rear. He crawls up on her back, and in case of like the box turtle, the eastern box turtle, he actually will flip over on his back, and so that his feet are actually inside her shell right here, the plastron, right inside there, and he's upside down. She's right side up, so when she moves, she has to drag old Charlie with her, and that goes on probably for maybe 30 or 40 minutes or more. Bell's still on his back, but he can use his head, his neck, and reach over and push himself to up on the edge, and hopefully he'll get turned back over again. And the female can isolate the sperm, and once they separate, she can isolate the sperm and fertilize each egg separately. And she can do this for as many as 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4 years without ever seeing another male. That's their one of those unique survival techniques that because the box turtle, I know, it's rare that they see another turtle, especially of their species. When she lays her eggs, she can deposit like some turtles. She can deposit 20 or 30 eggs every night for as much as 4 or 5 days. So she can lay up to 100 eggs. So they can lay 20 or 30 eggs a night for about a week. And she crawls up on the bank again every night and clears away the debris and digs a hole, sits on top of the hole, and her eggs are always round. Gator eggs are oblong. Gator eggs have a distinct curvature and a positive and a negative end, while all turtles have round eggs. I have a picture of what's called gator eggs, but in this mass of pictures, there must be 20 pictures, there's a nest of round eggs. So that distinctly is not a gator, that's a turtle egg. Some turtles live as much as 15 or 20 or 30 years. The alligator snapping turtle, he can live for 70 or 80 or 90 years. Alligator snapper, he's that great big turtle with the huge head, and he opens his mouth, that little pink tongue wiggles around. Hey y'all, you ever seen one of these things up close? But this turtle doesn't do that. She lays eggs crawls away, never sees their baby, never. But those, the instant they crawl out, once they hatch, they know immediately to go down to the water. And if they're fortunate, they may live for a week or two before they become a part of the system. Because turtles do really, they provide a lot of energy for that part of the springtime feeding.